Hello, hello. Thank you for coming back to see what I'm up to. My name is Jennifer and this is Jen the Bookworm. If you are new here, I hope that you will consider subscribing to my channel. I have just now gotten up to, well, within the last couple of days, gotten up to 90 subscribers, so I'm very happy about that. And I'm still trying to make a push to get to 100, so if you could help me out, that would really, really be awesome of you. And if you are a repeat offender, then I appreciate you very much for your continued support. Thank you for coming and checking out what I'm doing. This video is just going to be a quick June check-in. I missed the mid-month check-in point by a little bit, but that's okay. Still checking in, letting you know what I'm up to, letting you know I haven't drowned under the weight of my TBR, although it's threatening. So far this month, I have managed to read 4 books. I am still in the process of reading 2 others. I am reading Sight Reading Tress in the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson, and it's not difficult to read, and it's a fun book, but it is difficult for me to find time to read it because it's a sight read book. I'm reading it on my Kindle, and I can't do anything else while I'm doing that. By contrast, I just got done reading Best Served Cold, which I thought was an awesome book by Joe Abercrombie. And I was listening to it on audiobook, and so I was able to clean my house and do, a bunch of chores when I run errands. I can be listening to it then, and grocery shopping and making dinner and so on. So, I mean, I got through that one a lot quicker, because I can do it while doing other things. So unfortunately, Tress is sort of taking a long time for me to read. That is not a reflection of the book. That is a reflection of my lifestyle. So I'm still reading Tress. I just started yesterday. Yesterday, I think, which would mean nothing to you, depending on when this video is going up. But earlier this week, I just started Pieces of Her by Karen Slaughter. Trying to branch out just a little bit, read things that are not all fantasy, though fantasy is my favorite and it does call me quite often. I do like to experience some other kinds of books, which I think I've been doing, particularly May and June when I've been doing my mood readings and such. So I'm reading Pieces of Her, and so far, I have to say, I'm confused. But I think I'm supposed to be confused. So far, so good. The only complaint I have about it is I can't really relate to the main character, because the main character is just like, she defaults to not saying anything, so something bad happens and she's just a mute, and I don't know, cannot relate. I talk too much. So but I am still enjoying the book. I really like Karen Slaughter. I've only read one of her books before, but I really liked it. It made an impression, and so I'm hoping to read more. So this is on my journey of doing that. Plus, Pieces of Her is a Netflix show that I've been meaning to watch, but I want to read the book first. So that's what I'm reading at the moment. And like I said, I have read 4 of the books. I'm not going to list them all out right now, because before you know it, it's going to be the end of the month, and I'll review them then. Right now I'm kind of in the process of trying to compile Spiffbo 9 books. So I made myself a table on Microsoft Word, which I don't like. I'll use Excel next time. But I made myself a table, and I'm going through all of the bloggers and people who are, booktubers and bloggers who are rating these books. And each of them have 30 books. There's 300 books to go through, 10 bloggers. And I'm going through them, and I'm about halfway through. I think I've touched 150 books at least. I didn't save it. And then my computer said, oh, we're going to do an update. And they did an update, and most of the time, like 9 times out of 10, it will say, hey, we have some unsaved stuff here for you. Check it out. Save it, if you want it. It didn't do that. It just wiped out my table, just completely wiped it out. So I guess that gives me an opportunity to start it on Excel, which will be a better table. You know, I don't know why I did it on Word to begin with, but anyway, I will restart that. I really want to come up with, by July, a list of the books that I'm wanting to read on for SPFBO. Now, I don't know how many of them I'll get to, particularly in July. I'm not going to be able to read, like, you know, 30 books in July or anything like that. But I want to make a list of the books and start reading through them some. I'd like to read some more indie books. Plus, I really think that even though I'm a little channel, I really think that I could make an impact for an indie writer if I find their book and I really liked it and give it a good review and stuff. I might be able to really make an impact for them. So that is my goal. I'm still working on that. Once I get through my SPFBO list, I will come and let you know which ones are on my radar. So that's coming up. I did a couple of videos which will probably be coming after this. One I did a spring haul, and another one I did a disclaimer tag, no disclaimer tag. The spring haul, Audible was having this awesome sale, and I went through and bought it up. But, and I did a video on that. It hasn't come out yet, but it should be coming out soon. But after that video was filmed, I bought a couple more books. So I just got done reading The Outsider by Stephen King earlier, and it has a character in it named Holly, and I really like this character. I watched the show on HBO. I've seen it like 4 times or something like that all the way through. Really, she's one of my favorite characters. She is, well, her and the main guy, the main detective, my favorite characters in the book. Really, really liked her. But I've heard that while she might have been, you know, pleasant in the show, that she wasn't quite as pleasant to read. There was some people who didn't like her. But I really wanted to read The Outsider because I had watched the show, and I did read it, and I did enjoy it. And I enjoyed the character. But she kept referencing Bill Hodges, and I knew she was in other books. I know this is a reoccurring character for Stephen King. So I looked it up, and there is a Bill Hodges trilogy, starting with Mr. Mercedes, and then Finders Keepers, and End of Watch. And this trilogy together kind of explains some of the things that she was referring to. So I don't feel like reading The Outsider, sorry, not to be confused with The Outsiders and Patrick Swayze and such. But The Outsider, if you read that book first, I don't think it spoils much of the trilogy or anything. I don't feel like I'm going into the trilogy knowing much of anything. I know what happens to the main character, and that's about it. I mean, I know, like, on a big scale what happens, but I don't know the story that well. So I don't feel like reading this first has made it to where I can't read the others without being spoiled. So I intend to pick that up sometime. I kind of would like to pick those books up before September, because in September Stephen King's coming out with a new book, Holly. She's the main character in it, and since I like her as a character, I'd like to read that book when it comes out and kind of do I don't know, drop everything and read it right away. I did that with Fairy Tale last year. Had a lot of fun. I hope other people will be reading. I know there's a couple of people that drop everything when Stephen King comes out with a book. So I hope that I'll be in good company and be able to read it alongside some other people. But anyway, so I got those 3 books, and I'm hoping to pick them up sometime soon. The only other thing I have to report for June is, and I kind of already said it before, I jumped the gun, but I have reached 90 followers now, and I thank you so much if you're one of the newer people who click the subscribe. I appreciate you. If you're one of the people who have been here from the start, I appreciate you too. And I hope that you will continue to watch my videos. If I film anything that you think anybody else would enjoy, please consider sharing. Please leave me some comments. What kind of books are you hoping to be reading coming up? What Spiffbo 9 books have you picked up that you think I should maybe pick up, or that you feel like they can't be missed books? What books have you been reading in June? Leave me some comments. I read all the comments, and I love to interact with people in the comment section. And if you are one of those people who have who this video has reached, and you have not subscribed, consider giving me a subscribe. It really helps out my channel. It really helps me out a lot, and I appreciate it so much. So that's what I have for you, my check-in for June. Thank you very much for sticking around. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I hope that you have a great rest of your month, and I hope that you're reading some really good books, or you're having a really good time reading some bad books. I don't know, whatever you're into. So thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day.